Hello, welcome back to Tommy's Top Picks Weekly Roundup podcast, episode number 22. I'm your host, Tommy, joined by John.
How's it going?
Good. It's been a week.
Yes, it has.
So, we're back with another episode. We are even closer to our 200 subs. So, even closer to that 200 sub giveaway where you can win a King in Black issue number 1, CGC graded at a 9.8, signed by Ryan Stegman and Donnie Cates. And it's a variant cover. Pretty cool one. It's like a half sketch, half regular. Very, very cool. All you have to do to win it is watch our top 5 comics for the week videos and put your top pick for the week down below. The entries are starting to come in, so make sure you add them now and before we hit 200, because it is quickly approaching. All you have to do to win is put your top pick down below in the comments for the top 5 comics videos. You can do one for each video and live in the United States so we can mail it to you without spending hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, I saw after last week we got quite a few more comments, so it's starting to heat up.
Yeah, the competition is mounting. And again, to gain an advantage, you can do one on each video, each of the top 5 comics. And there's a couple now, so that's a couple entries. There's, I think, 4 or 5 now. It's getting there. Like yeah, and there's another one on Tuesday. It is Memorial Day Monday, so hopefully we'll figure out a time to film it. But we shall. Yeah, so how was your week? What did you do? What did you play?
I did not play anything this week. I am still recovering from travel and work catch up.
Fair.
So I didn't even go to our armory. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I had a dinner I had to be at, so I missed ours.
Yeah, I was only a little bit sad to miss it because I was burnt out on doing things, but now I'm getting back into my groove of normal socializing and such. So I'm happy to get back out. Probably this week, I guess, unless we're drafting Tales again.
Nope, next week's Blitz.
Okay, good. Then I have a Blitz deck to bring. I'm ready and excited to bring it. So it'll be the first time I bring it out to the shop. So yeah,
that'll be fun.
Yeah, next week. What about you?
I have been practicing because I haven't had any time to play games, but I have found some time to do some felt table practicing. If you don't know, Felt Table is an amazing website that you can practice Flesh and Blood against a fairly incompetent AI, but it's not supposed to be good. It's supposed to let you play out your lines and learn your deck, and you can make your opponent's deck be something that you'll see, so you get used to at least some of the lines, some of the interactions between the different matchups in the meta.
And the AI is pretty terrible, but it does do exactly what you said. It gives you a chance to see, like, okay, if I draw this, should I do this? How do I interact? It's very smart on the mechanics too, so it will
and it allows you to
do it correctly.
And it forces you to play correctly by the rules. Sometimes you mess it up and then you just have to screw up the game.
But you learn. I mean, that's how you learn, because you're like, oh crap, I need to trigger that first, and now
like sometimes I just accidentally hit the pass one too many times. Oh, and then it just like skips my turn. And then I'm just like, oh, I just had this perfect hand and now I'm just
and I just ruined it.
Giving a free turn away. Okay. Yeah. But I've been practicing Briar. I was very inspired by Team Covenant Zach Bunn's performance at Pro Tour, and I watched his 3-hour video about how he felt about Pro Tour and the deck specifically, and he did some gameplay overviews where they watched back the different videos and explained the different matchups into Chain, into Kano, into Prism, into I forget who else he played. But anyway, I just really like the idea of the deck. It's not really, there are a lot of heavy aggro Briar decks. This is not that. This is a earth heavy Channel Mount heroic in the face, dropping a mountain on your face kind of deck, in his words.
How is that not aggro though?
It doesn't run like the lightning presses or a lot of the reactions, I guess. It's not as aggro as it could be.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that video. I haven't seen that one yet.
Yep, it plays a lot more blues.
Interesting.
I think there's like 23, 24 blues.
The heck? What are you using all those resources on? Just make sure you get your
Make sure
sword.
you always so I've been able to keep up Channel Mount Heroic like for 3 turns.
Interesting.
And there was one time where I had 2 Channel Mount Heroics out at the same time.
That's always godly when that happens.
It
It's
was
so good.
gross. And then you play a snatch. And then you can draw again.
Interesting.
And then and then you can use.
That's why you want that force of nature.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the extra
We
draw.
have a video of that. See if you can find it. I was playing. I don't know who I was playing against,
Crits.
but I was playing my Briar against. Was it
Chris?
Yeah, but what was he playing?
I don't remember. Azalea?
Maybe. Might have been Azalea. And I got the combo off with the double force of nature. It was so gross.
Mm-hmm.
It is one you want, but I don't think you can do on purpose very easily.
No.
But yeah, that's cool. I'm glad you're getting into that. It's
also
not
being able to
from what you like.
Right. And being able to creepers in Channel Mount Heroic is very interesting.
Yep, creepers is nice.
And learning the video is very helpful in learning different interactions because I never would have thought it makes sense. And if you have the superpower of reading cards, you would understand this. But Channel Mount Heroic works on defense too. So in the Prism Mirror, most of your cards in the deck swing for 4. Those are now 7s with Channel Mount Heroic out, popping phantasms. Even the one that minuses all attacks by -1 when defending, it'll still pop it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anti-prism tech. Very good. That means Prism's gonna get knocked back down again, huh?
I don't think.
Every time she rises, she gets knocked back down. That's okay. It means she's sticking.
But then she gets up again.
Longer. Yeah. Everyone else.
You're never gonna knock her down.
Yeah. She'll get back up again.
But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's not very different than the typical kind of decks that I've been playing, and I think that's what drew me to it.
Sure.
But it just seems different, and I never really dove into Briar. I've played all the Earth cards because I've played a lot of Starvo and I've played a lot of Draft, and I know the cards, but the interaction with all the other different previous set cards and different Runeblade cards, and Revel and Runeblood can get real gross.
Yeah.
Just the chains can get really nasty after EVR with some of that stuff. Yep. So
yeah, that's what I brought to ProQuest 1. Mm-hmm. I did terrible with it. To be fair, I think I played it maybe once or twice before ProQuest, so
that's your dang fault.
Yeah, no, totally. Well, I wasn't sure what I wanted to bring.
Right. No, I remember.
Back and forth, and then I was like, screw it, I'm bringing Briar. And then just because I was familiar with her before.
Right.
But yeah, that didn't go very well. It's okay, though.
Yeah.
It's good to see her get some play. I like it.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's what I played. Did you read any comic books this week, John?
No.
What about
you?
I continued on my Daredevil journey. I have now I am caught up to Devil's Reign. I am a couple issues in. I am reading not only the main line, but all of the story tie-ins, which is a little confusing because it's just kind of in the middle of other books. And I probably shouldn't read them all, but I'm just the kind of person that does. And they're on Marvel Unlimited anyways, so why not? Yeah, and then I need to go through. I picked up my comics from the shop, so I have another night of bagging and boarding ahead of me. And eventually, probably not tonight. But they were very nice, and I missed Free Comic Book Day this year, which was a week or two ago. And so I wasn't able to make it. And then I walk in and I pick up my books, and I was like, this seems like more books than I ordered. And they were like, yeah, we put together a bag of Free Comic Book Days for you. I was like, oh, cool, which ones? And they were like, one of each. And I was like, what? So that was pretty nice of them and pretty exciting.
That's cool. Not fully related, but I did start watching the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Hey, how was that?
Star Wars comic. So
yeah, there's a new Obi-Wan issue.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I'm barely started. I had to jump off after I started it. But it's starting out well. I like it.
Murphy said it was good.
I'm into it. Like I'll watch the whole thing, but I've watched every Star Wars thing that's come out. So
well, yeah,
my deal.
Yeah,
I love it. Love it.
But let's
All right.
jump right into the main discussion this week. Flesh and Blood Pre-Uprising Roundup. So we just had a bunch of different things we wanted to talk about, like the upcoming meta, some market stuff, classic battles, 2 weeks until Uprising.
And the calendar.
And
How
the
this
calendar.
calendar is going, because oh my god, that's the topic for the end. We'll get there.
Wait, we're not 2 weeks from Uprising. Why is that in the notes?
No, the Uprising pre-release event.
Ah, that's
2
right.
weeks away. Yeah,
Yes.
You're the
Okay.
one who said that.
Yep.
So we will know. We will have a good idea in 2 weeks.
And on Monday, the previews start on the 4th.
It's on Monday. Oh my god,
Mm-hmm.
that's so exciting.
Yeah, Monday's the 4th, right?
The hype. I wasn't ready for the hype.
Nothing's happening in cards.
No, Monday is the 30th. It's 2 weeks away.
Oh, wait.
It's a week from tomorrow.
A week from tomorrow.
It's on Saturday. It's Thursday. Yeah,
I guess so. Yeah.
So it's a week from tomorrow. So yeah, it is a slump right now. Nothing is happening.
We have 1 week.
Yeah, in a week. Yeah, but it's like that. That it's literally everything's pretty quiet except I guess Pokemon released, which I didn't even realize.
Yeah, exactly. It's that's sneaky.
Yeah.
But I have a box of Monarch because everyone wants to watch Monarch being open. So I have a box of Monarch that I can open because I went. We'll get into it later, actually. Yep. We can talk about the meta.
All right, upcoming meta. I think we got ProQuest happening right now, right? Starvo is still at large because though he LL'd, he's still viable for ProQuest and still very competitive in kind of the easy mode.
Absolutely.
For trying to get your Pro Tour invite.
Maybe I'll just do that again.
You could.
No one else at the shop plays it.
I think it's.
I wonder if we'll have as big of a. Fair. I wonder if we're gonna have as big of a turnout as ProQuest 1.
No, not at all. Yeah. Not at all. Because no one can afford to go to France at the last minute notice here.
Fair enough.
You know
but gold foil.
I imagine. Yeah. I mean, we might get people coming for that, but I just don't think it's going to be as big a draw, you know?
No, sure.
Like, I can be a pro.
And I can go to New Jersey because it's just a drive.
That's right.
Because I drove here.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the meta seems like, well, I'll put it this way. If you're paying attention to all the big, you know, capable players that have podcasts and whatever.
The pro players.
They're talking about decks that are not what you would think. I saw Dash Tech today from Hayden Dale. I know Kano's has already come out. I saw someone talking about Reinar. You were saying you saw the Team Covenant Briar. So it's like the meta has room for other types now. And
it's a lot of decks that came out of Pro Tour.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And I think because Starvo has been around so long and is so targetable, like
Chain's popularity's probably rise with the fall of Viserai.
Chain is going to LL for sure, probably by the end of ProQuest, but definitely within, you know, a few. Well, I guess that's not true. We don't know that because once Uprising comes out, the whole thing shakes up again, right? So Chain may no longer be viable for one reason or another.
Right.
But
watch, it's just like ProQuest Season 3, like some random person just gets the couple points to push Chain over.
I mean, that's all it takes, right?
I know.
ProQuest gives points.
Yeah.
So if enough Chain ProQuest wins happen, he's done. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know if he is because, I mean, yes, he won Pro Tour, but, you know, you got to know your shit to play Chain.
Absolutely.
Language. Like, he's a little hard, those combos to pull off correctly. You know, competitive scene is not the easiest thing in the world.
No.
It's not Seeds of Agony these days.
No.
It was auto win. And you can definitely kill yourself with Chain.
Absolutely.
Quite easily. So, but point being that there is room for other types of heroes at the table. I think this is probably the healthiest.
Lexi? I've been hearing a lot about Lexi.
Lexi's all over the place. Yeah. In fact, the Hayden Dash, he said specifically Lexi is like the hardest thing.
Yep. Same with Briar.
Oh, really? Interesting.
But that's like the standard aggro Briar. My deck does tend to do a little bit better because it is heavy on the blues. So you don't have as explosive turns, but you don't just have turns straight up off.
Yeah.
Where like the 0 line Briar, or like the super aggro dash or Kasai and Blitz. Like you sometimes just don't have a turn because of what Lexi can do tax wise.
Yeah, that's a good point. But point being, I think this is probably the healthiest pro meta we've seen.
Oh, for sure. I think
Because
it's
there's
super
definitely
exciting.
a
It's
lot of
super
stuff
fun.
going on. Yeah, I kind of wish the teams hadn't. I get why they did it, but I kind of wish they hadn't held back so long to release their different techs, because clearly there was a lot of different techs going on at the same time that were, not what everyone was talking about.
Right.
And so Pro Tour revealed a lot of them, sure. And so now it's out in the wild and it's just going through its paces. And I'm sure they're working on their next thing. But it's like we could have had this awesome meta where it didn't seem like Starvo was such a big monster in the room, where people weren't complaining that Starvo was everything,
But he wasn't.
That's my point. He wasn't the whole time, but the reason no one realized is because all the really good players were keeping hush on
Absolutely.
what
You're not
they were
gonna.
developing.
You don't want to give away your stuff.
I wish they did. I wish it
Really?
would be better for the whole game. Yes, because so the more people that are playing these decks, the faster you find the weaknesses. And I understand it takes a lot of work to get there, but I think that an evolving meta is healthier. If people are keeping it all secret, you get these like situations where basically the easy decks become dominant because no one's even trying to beat them, right? They're just pretending they're the best deck.
You just got to get good and beat them. Figure it out.
I mean, I get
Figure
that,
it
but
out.
it creates all this like negativity. In
Oh,
the space
sure.
that I
Yeah.
think,
The
like,
simple-minded hive mind of
yeah,
I
it's
want
just
to I
ridiculous.
want to
Like
go
the
net deck.
entire
Yeah.
complaint about Starvo could have been completely washed away if all these
Well,
decks were
I
out the
mean,
whole time.
to be fair, a lot of the pros were saying that he's not as
Yeah, I know.
oppressive. Like,
I know.
and
But clearly
people
they
just
were
didn't
working on
believe him.
several different decks. I mean,
Right.
Hayden even said like at the last minute he chose Kano, but he had spent most of his practice time on Dash.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, so they had multiple very capable decks they felt were strong.
Yeah. There's a lot of that's healthy. Yeah.
That's it.
That's
And
huge.
yet everyone didn't realize it except the pros, the very best. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it would have made the game a little more dynamic for everyone else. I get why they do it. I understand it. And it is a big deal to like go full bore and try to win one of these tournaments. So I get it. But it's still, I think we had months of complaining and whining that could have just been alleviated if everyone was just trying different things.
Okay, so here's a rebuttal question.
Sure.
Flesh and Blood has been hiring content creators to make like different gameplay videos for them, right?
If you say so. I didn't know they were hiring them.
Yeah, like Arsenal Pass did a series of videos, and I know a couple other. They were on the website. There's like there's the classic battles gameplay.
Okay.
But anyways,
I totally believe you. I just didn't know they were hiring them yet.
Or not hiring, like not full time, but
they were working with them.
Yeah,
I get it.
partnering. And what if the chatter, the online chatter of a deck being too oppressive, is getting to an unhealthy level? Then you release a video not with a new deck, but with, say, maybe like a hero and counter tech
oppressive.
Yeah, and like try running this, because
I agree.
So
I think here's the thing. If you think about like Magic, right? The whole meta gets solved in like 5 minutes, but it's never a complete solution, right?
Right, because of Arena.
But it's never a one deck is the win. And if it is one deck is the win, they ban cards so it isn't anymore. And then
right,
it's like
and I think that's Flesh and Blood. I think Flesh and Blood is a more rock paper scissors.
It just does it so slowly that it gives months of people whining online about something that's not true. That's the problem. That's, in my mind, that's the difference, because it literally was the entire ProQuest season. You had people quit the game during ProQuest because of Starvo.
Yeah. So
it's ridiculous.
They just couldn't. They're just.
I hate that. It just makes me upset, because this whole time there was all these other decks that people should have been running and trying and learning. Because you got to look at it, right? I don't care. Hayden can give me every deck that he's thinking about for the next 6 months and every on the day of, and I'll never play as well as him.
No.
Not in a million years. So just put it out there. Let us scrubs learn from the best as we go, as opposed to waiting months and months and months. I get it because they're competing against top tier teams
And
too.
those top tier teams can look at that
I
deck
get
and
it.
know
I get it.
exactly.
I know. I just don't. I wish it was a little more dynamic. And you just don't
And I
have.
think
You can't have secrets in Magic because everyone. It's online instantly. You know what I'm saying?
right. But so what
And
if
here there's months and months of unknowns for the regular people.
there were more meta shakeups and like more often? Like there were more because they have the suspended mode now for cards, right? Like
Yeah,
cards can be suspended.
that would be actually
So
kind of
they
cool.
use
Yeah,
that and shake up the
that could
meta
do
like
it.
once a month.
Yeah, that could do it. A
And
once a
then
month
the
modification of
right,
suspensions and stuff, or maybe even 2 months because you don't get that many games in a month, right?
right,
4 to 8
exactly.
or something. Yeah, yeah,
And then sometimes they could just be like, no changes.
yeah,
But just on it like the first of the month.
yeah. That
There's
could be the answer.
yeah.
That's an answer, and that would help prevent this like, we're stuck in a thing because it was Starvo. It was stuck in the Starvo world until Starvo,
I agree
like
with you
until
that
the shake.
that was too long.
Yeah, it was too long, but they'll get there. They're getting there. Honestly, they're
Yeah.
already doing things that are
And I
improving
think
it.
the
But
more events that happen, the more shakeups like this we'll see. Because
I still wish he'd put his dash tech out before the Pro Quest. I would have tried it. I wouldn't have never. I would never been as good as him playing it, but it still would have been fun to play his dash deck going into Pro Quest.
Pro Tour,
I mean,
you
no, into
can
Pro
play.
Quest.
You can play
No,
his
no,
deck
no.
going into Pro Quest. We haven't had
Well,
our Pro
yeah,
Quest yet.
I intend to. I
Yeah.
intend to.
So there
But
you
the
go.
point is, like,
You
it
can
could have
still do
been
that.
last time. Could have been
Oh.
last time because he had it ready. He was working on it. He did most
Oh,
of
I
his
see.
practice
Yeah.
during the last season on
Pro
that
Quest
deck.
season 1. I see what you mean.
Yeah, yeah. And like I didn't know what to play. I wasn't gonna play Starvo
Right.
because I hate Guardians, but I didn't know what to play and I didn't feel like there's much to play,
Yeah, that's fair.
It's mostly on me. I didn't get enough practice time and stuff. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think there's much harm in all these things being released, especially if you have 2 or 3 decks.
Right, sure. And
solid.
yeah, I think that's one of those things where they could do teasers or like
Yeah, leave an ace
hints
up your sleeve, but yeah, hint out some of the deck tech.
or like no, like there could be like on the a way to promote the Flesh and gain a bunch of followers on the Flesh and Blood official Twitter. They could have like if like hints or like tech cards against the meta like top deck or whatever that month.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Because obviously the game designers figured out something that counters it.
Oh God, yeah.
So
and frankly, so did the top players. They
right,
just didn't tell anyone.
right. But so what I'm saying is like you either have the players do it or you have someone on LSS.
The trouble with LSS doing it is they could screw a team. Like, say they did release some dash stuff. Suddenly, Hayden's deck is like now out there, even though they don't say his specific deck. If they reveal kind of the tech that he's using, now something he spent all this time working on, practicing with, is no longer viable because everyone knows about it, and only secrets win in this.
What if they showed the hero in 3 cards?
Oh, I don't know. That doesn't give you much. I don't think that's enough for people to change their mind about Starvo being oppressive.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think anything would change people's mind except watching an event. So, okay. So here's another thing. We have big like calling events like every month.
Yeah.
Like we get to the point where the game's just popular enough that there's a calling every month.
I mean, we had that for a while there.
Yeah.
During calling season, we had that. It was like every month.
Right.
What do you think is going to happen there?
No, like they have these kind of shakeups before each one, like where they with the suspended announcements or whatever or the bans.
Oh yeah,
and then so they shake it up for each one.
Every single one, maybe. Yeah, that might be too much, but some balance in there. Yeah.
But I mean, they only do like 1 or 2 cards or something.
Yeah. So, what do you think about Uprising from what we know so far and what the meta is going to look like after that? I mean, we got.
I'm super excited. I'm still not convinced that there's only 3 heroes.
Really? You still think there's a 4th hero?
I think it's possible.
It's possible, but I don't think it's going to be a set of cards. I think. Well, I don't know. I was wrong the first time, so I could be wrong this time too. But based on the index, there's no room for another set.
Right, and I think so. At the Pro Tour, James White was talking about how all of the heroes in the first two sets are going to kind of get the Starvo treatment over the next period of time.
Yeah.
And I think that'll only happen in the supplemental sets. I don't think that'll happen in the draft. But I could be wrong.
Okay, I see
Like,
what you
so
mean.
they
That
could,
makes sense.
like, this
Yeah.
one could be the Kano one because it is Volkmar.
Well, it wouldn't be this one because this is the draft, right? So
No, what I'm saying is if it is, it could be in here.
Yeah, and the supplemental would be based in Volkor, just like Everfest was still based in Tails.
Right, and then Volkor, Volkor could be Kasai or something. But that's not in the first two sets. But
it's going to be Kano. It's going to be Kano.
No, but what I'm saying is if they want to speed things along, and so they put like they have it's a gold foil or a cold foil only version of Kano in, so that's the fourth hero, but he's not a draft legal, but he's still constructed legal, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That is the one way I could see them sneaking.
Because there are going to be wizard cards in it, not the ice. Maybe he's Ice Kano?
No.
Or Fire? Or
that would be so weird. If
Draconic? Draconic?
Yeah, it'll be Drakai Kano, if anything. Then he can use some of the Drakai cards, maybe.
Yeah, that could be cool.
I don't know how that worked. I'd have to look. But I don't think we know enough yet about the Drakai cards, so
I'm all right being wrong, but if I'm right, I was right.
It is possible, but it won't be draftable. That's kind of my one exception to my statement of there's not a fourth hero, is that it would be an undraftable or unplayable type like a Shiana, right?
Right.
Which
but that was
think
in
Shiana
supplemental
might be
as well.
too, because she's in the story,
right?
So she could be in there as an adult.
True.
And the same sort of like cold foil only, so you can't actually draft it.
Right. But he was saying the first two sets, and she's in crew.
Yeah, but this wouldn't be elemental. This wouldn't, because again, I think that
it would just be the adult version of.
It would just be a fourth hero in there. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Cool. I mean, it is possible. I'm not holding my breath for that. I think 3 heroes will be interesting enough.
Yeah, it will be.
Illusionist with dragons. Some ninja that burns ashes to slap the crap out of you.
I'm in.
And then Icelander oppressing everyone with
not okay with it. Not okay with it.
Love it. Can't wait to get her new cards. Unfortunately, everyone's going to be playing her, so I can't play her.
Kano Oldham.
I'm not allowed to.
Oldham has a pal of being constructed wall of just fatigue. Do you think Icelander will have a fatigue deck?
Yes.
Okay.
It's definitely possible. She's close enough to full life so she can hold out with everyone else.
Right.
And there's enough ways to be defensive with her, because that one deck I played was a defensive Icelander deck, if you recall.
Yep.
And it just waited for the setup to do the big slap. And then, yeah, it's definitely possible. Yeah. I don't know if it will be, like, if her pool will be big enough, because that's always been the problem so far, is her pool is too small. But right. I think we're getting there for this set, so hopefully.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Yeah.
And then Pro Tour number 2,
France,
in August.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be post Uprising, just to get it in everyone's head. We have all this stuff. There'll be post Uprising, post Starvo, because Uprising will be the end of Starvo. So Starvo will be out of the meta. Uprising heroes will be in the meta.
Correct.
And then all the stuff that's been worked on up to this point that is viable will theoretically still be viable, assuming the Uprising heroes are not oppressive.
Yes.
What does that look like? That world sounds scary. I'm not sure I'm ready for that world.
I really hope no one figures out the oppressive Icelander till Pro Tour. Someone will. But
maybe. We'll see. I mean, I don't know if she's going to be that oppressive, honestly.
I think people are going to get frustrated.
Why? They're trying to slow the whole format down so people have time to do things.
Right. And this, she will.
So oppressive. Oh, no, our games aren't over in 5 turns.
No, I don't think that. I think it's just like, I don't know. It's tilting. I think it can be tilting.
I guess. I mean, it certainly was in the what was that ultimate pit fight where I iced everyone.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
hilarious.
okay. Yeah, that, I mean, when you play Channel Lake Frigid in
On
UPF,
your turn, and you ice everyone else. That's great.
gross.
I loved it. I loved it. But
Um,
yeah, I don't think it's that bad. But I have been a fan of Icelander for a while, so
mhm.
I will naturally be biased towards her being fine.
Yeah. The Illusionist I worry about.
I do too. That dragon is gross.
Yeah.
Now, what it
We don't know
takes to
how
get
it
it out,
works,
we
right?
don't know. Yeah, exactly. So if it takes a lot to get out and it's basically near impossible or super predictable, then of course that goes out the window fast. But the powerhouse of it, if it gets out, it honestly does remind me of Prism. Like if you let her set up, you're done. Like game is over. It
Right.
won't look like it right away, but it is already over. You
Right.
just don't know it yet. That's what that looks like,
Right.
except with Dragon. So yeah, that would be fun. And Illusionist has a good pool, so I
I
think
wonder
that
if
would be
there's
interesting.
with Illusionist, I wonder if in the generics we will get any anti-illusionist tech cards, like aura popping cards. I'm sure we will.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, and then that's a question. Does she use auras? Because the dragons are not,
Right.
but maybe Ash is an aura type, you know?
Yep. Right.
Like an Ash counter that goes up and you can
Yep.
pop it theoretically using Scour for wizards and, the other cards for other classes because there's a couple out there.
Right.
I think doesn't Guardian have one that pops auras and there's a generic. Isn't there a generic that pops auras too?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I could be wrong on that, but there's definitely a couple cards out there that pop auras. It's just they're not super useful because there aren't that many auras to pop.
Right.
Um, but that would change with this.
Mm-hmm.
God, this is going to be gone from Blitz.
Yeah, he is gone.
That's so weird. Yeah,
He's
I'm just
already
thinking
gone.
like to the new like meta with this gone from Blitz. You don't have to worry about auras, so often stacking because the other two rune blades don't aura as much. They just don't. So it's like a different game. It's so weird. I love how the game changes so much with each like slight shift in the powers.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Because then it brings new characters, new heroes.
It's just like
back.
a whole new game. You're like, okay, how do I reconstruct everything I already know for something totally different
that I have no idea how it's changing?
Yeah, exactly. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, looking forward to the next few months. Boy, there's a lot going on. I will say, post Pro Tour, I'm in a little break because, good God, I'm tired. We've been playing this like hard for months now.
I just want to keep going. I just want to play more. I was trying to figure out how we can bring some way to play while camping.
Well, I'll tell you, I can bring some Magic Commander decks that I don't give a crap about. That I don't care if they get dirty.
But then we're playing
I know
Magic.
It's just because I just got them. I'm taking them down to play with my sister. I'm going to hang out with her for a few days, so I got a bunch of them. It's fine. I'd rather actually be surprised by him playing against her anyways, instead of ruining it by playing against you. So.
Bring your Commoner decks. We'll figure those out again.
Oh yeah, we could do that. We could definitely do Commoner. I don't care if those get trashed.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
And try to teach Drew how to play it.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. Market stuff.
Yeah. So we're in a bit of a slump.
Definitely.
And
prices have been going down slowly over the last couple weeks, and they're definitely down this week with a few crazy dips. I wouldn't say crazy dips, but double-digit dips, so big enough to take note.
It could be bigger next week as we enter another lull. But I feel like then with the pre-release and the cards being announced and the hype coming back up, we could see some prices go up, I think.
Hype, definitely. Post UPR going into Pro Tour, there'll be card grabs for specific decks, right?
Right.
As people figure out how to put things together. It's so weird though, because like going from last ProQuest season to Pro Tour 1, we knew the card pool. we knew it pretty well because we played all ProQuest with it. With this, it's literally getting released a month before, and there's no competitive events. So we'll have the card pool, but people won't really know how it fares.
Right.
And how different tech works and stuff. So there's going to be like this mad dash to figure things out and then get the card. So we might not see a market reaction to that until things kind of settle after Pro Tour of like what's actually really good, you know?
After Pro Tour?
Yeah, in August.
No.
Why not?
I think that'll be a refresher again. That'll be a metaform way before Pro Tour.
So you think card prices are going to jump going into Pro Tour when people don't really know what is best? Because they're not going to have competitive opportunities.
They're going to think they know what's best.
Yeah, that's true. And some people will say, but if it's anything like this Pro Tour where the teams all keep it real hush hush, you're not gonna have a whole lot to go on.
Sure, but I mean people still they played something to get there, so as long as it's not Starvo, they'll be able to play it.
For what I
or
gather,
Chain.
A lot of people are playing Starvo. That's what I did.
I'm sure they know how and can play other decks too.
Yeah, it's just with the new card set, it changes everything.
Right.
I mean, we've seen it before, so what does that mean? I just don't know that people will know what to buy. And we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong and everyone figures it out and it's super easy and there's another Starvo, but I think that would be bad.
No, yeah, that would not be good. But
if there's another obvious powerhouse.
I really like the kind of rock, paper, scissors where it's more like a 60-40 kind of win. So like scissors has a 60% chance or 65 maybe to beat paper.
Yeah, that's what everyone's trying to get to. It's just really hard.
But then you always have those outline matchups where it's really just like 90-10, where sometimes there's nothing you can do.
You were saying something about supply issues for our local stores?
Yeah. So I wanted to pick up Classic Battles because that came out today. Today's Friday. We're recording this. And I was like, I'll swing by the shop that I know that, not my local one, but the one on the way home from work. And I'll swing by, get Classic Battles because they're always stocked on Flesh and Blood. And they're good at release dates, and today's the day, so let's swing by. And I walk up and I was like, hey, do you have any of the Classic Battle sets? And he looked at me like I had 5 heads. And I was like, Flesh and Blood. He was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, okay, do you have any? He was just like, is that out yet? I was like, yeah, today. And then I looked on the shelf. I was like, all right, well, he doesn't have that. Maybe I'll just buy a box or something. And they usually have like every set and a bunch of each. And now they had like nothing. They had like 1 box of Tales Unlimited, 1 box of Crucible Unlimited, 4 boxes of Monarch First for some reason. They had more Monarch First than they had anything else. And half a box of Monarch Unlimited.
I mean, not knowing anything, I just assumed that they're checking out of the game.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're bringing back local play on Sundays, which I'm probably going to start going to because it's only 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
So they are not disconnecting from the game. And a lot of the employees there really like it and play it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that's been universally said is that people that play this game say it is the best game.
Yeah.
Like, bar none, no questions asked, not in, like, without a doubt, like, across the board. Distributors
once you've divin in
like,
deep
once
enough.
you've played it, everyone's like, this is literally the best game there is out there.
Yeah, once you've divin in.
It has that going for it.
Dive
for sure.
in deep enough. Yeah.
But so, interesting. I mean,
I'm like our local shop
know that something was releasing, right? Distributors call you up and say how many are you ordering. Like there's alternative pressure. So the fact
he knew it was coming out. He knew he had ordered it. He just didn't realize today was the day it came out
because it never showed up.
So, and you order a ton of games. Like they have board games, they have Warhammer, they have all the miniatures. So I understand that you would miss this one thing.
Sure.
But I don't know. It not being there on that day was kind of surprising.
we can definitely say for a fact that Arcane Rising, even unlimited, is disappearing off the shelves. It's
Yeah.
not around much. Um,
And the history packs are just going to keep coming out.
yeah, same with Crew. History packs are going to keep coming out. Their prices are still very reasonable. So
They had the
I
history
actually
boxes
think
for 112.
I think they got it right. Hey, can everyone out there say we were wrong and say you were right, LSS? You did it right, because everyone's like, oh, it's gonna be limited. Oh, it's gonna be hard to get. All this, da, da, da. And guess what happened? It's just slightly under its MSRP.
Mm-hmm.
It's available. You can get it right now with a click
Well,
of
isn't
a button.
MSRP 150?
No, it was like 130 or 40 maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't 150 now. And getting at 112 or whatever is totally reasonable. Like,
because you get 36 packs.
Yeah. So totally available. People were saying it was not going to be available. I think they got it right. It's bringing the card prices down like it's supposed to. It's not overly available, though. This is the part I was actually more worried about, that they'd just be all over the place and everything would crash. But guess what? Your tunic is still worth something.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the same as it was before in the crewnic.
Yep.
A couple of them have come
I
back.
would expect the crewnic to drop, actually.
What's that?
I would have expected the crewnic to drop, because it's also...
Did it stay flat?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it did drop. I think all the cards that got reprints dropped a little bit.
I could see like the rainbow and the cold foil holding, but I could see the crewnic dropping pretty far.
Command and Conquer dropped to like $60, so it definitely did the job
there.
Okay. Yeah, right. And I imagine it will keep going down in the white border, right? Because they're going to keep hitting the market.
Yeah.
So as long as people are opening them and selling the singles, obviously there's like, dynamics to the market of this, but
yeah, I almost bought a box today because they had a box there.
I am tempted to get some,
but then I was like, ugh. But then I'll have like white cards to sort.
I just don't know what to do with them.
And
that's my biggest thing, because they're not collectible, but like, and you get a lot of chaff. I don't need that. Do not need those comments at all.
That's why I was like, there will be a new player that walks into the store and they will want and value that. And it seems like their supply is low, so I will be the one to buy the Monarch.
Yeah, that's fine. I 100% agree with that. And I think I think History Packs is working. I think it's doing what it's supposed to at the right rate it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good. And I hope it continues to do that, so players can get the cards they want and play whatever deck they want without having to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a few cards.
Absolutely.
And then, collectors still have their collectability within the first, and I guess they're not first anymore, but the cold foils and such.
Right.
Speaking of, oh my God.
Collectability.
This scares me so much. This is the thing that makes me most nervous. Not the meta, not Pro Tour and what's happening there, not the secret team deck tech, but the collectability of Uprising. And not in a bad way, in a good way for collectors, but in a terrifying way as a collector.
Yeah.
I look at this set, so there'll be a legendary, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like every 4 legendaries, I don't know the exact math, but it's something like that, it's going to be a cold foil.
Right.
Legendaries will still be about one a case, right?
So that's every 4 cases.
Yeah.
1 cold foil legendary.
Yeah. You get 1. And as someone who wants to try to get every cold foil, because I try that, it's going to be really hard to get. It's gonna be so hard. And then you have the crazy new ones. What are they called? The Marvels?
The Marvels.
That's going to be even harder to get. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay too much for cardboard. That's what I'm going to do.
As if that's something new.
It just makes me, I don't know. It makes me a little sad. It almost scares me away from collecting, which is the opposite of what it should do.
Yeah. It scares you now when you have 0 of them.
Yeah, that's true. The second I open one, I'm going to be like, yeah!
And then 6 months after the set has been out and there's a dip, and you're just like, oh, well, I'll grab this one, and I'll grab this one.
I definitely have to go about a different strategy, though, because it's going to be a pain in the butt to look up cold foils if I'm using TCG player pricing, right?
Right.
Got to go to the card, you got to select the filter, just a cold foil, and that's going to happen right away, as opposed to knowing that.
Oh, and TCG player always messes that stuff up at the beginning.
It's so terrible. Yeah.
That's why you should just wait. Anyways.
Yeah, but even waiting is a pain to track that stuff.
Or
eBay. It's
like
two layers deep. Oh man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. We'll see. I'm gonna have to put a folder together or something. to keep it easy as to what I got and what I don't have. Because it's gonna take forever to get them all.
Or we could just figure out someone to sell us a pallet.
No, I'm not doing that. Definitely.
We'll have everything. I bet you we'd have it. No. Yeah. After a pallet?
We'd still be missing like one or two things probably.
You
I don't
think?
know how many are in a pallet.
Well, we
How
can
many
then we.
cases are in a pallet?
That's a question I've never looked up.
Because if it's like, let's see, if it's 10 cases, that would be a lot of boxes. Nah. Yeah, we might have everything. We might have everything. If we're not like unlucky. Because it like, imagine it's like 20 cases, give or take, that hits those numbers. If it's like 1 in 980, boxes or whatever. Like, yeah, that's close. Now, that's another thing. The Fable is going to have 2 versions too, right?
Yep.
Oh, that makes me so sad. My first Fable I'm going to pull is going to be, it's definitely going to be. And I'm going to cry. Still never pulled a Fable.
One day.
Tommy will straight out pull another cold full of Fable, and I just want to murder him even more.
Yeah, first box, first case.
Yeah, let's right. I'll whatever. I'm used to it at this point.
Hey, I've recorded one now.
Yeah, at least you got one on camera.
Yeah.
All right. So we're getting towards an hour.
We didn't talk about one thing I wanted to touch on real quick.
Oh yeah.
Is so with Fab 2.0 being a thing now with Uprising and the different versions of collectability and the different boxes, no unlimited, no first edition, just Uprising. The other thing that they are doing is they are changing how distribution is going to work. So instead of in previous sets, it's kind of been, from my understanding, that with first edition, it's just kind of order as much as you want, but then it's not really available at distributors. It just gets dumped onto the market. And that's why you see that race to the bottom. That may not be the case this time. Now, it could still very much happen, but they are trying to now disperse it in waves, smaller constricted waves. So it will not be as readily available at launch. So if you want a bunch at launch, this is the first that I would actually pre-order.
Well, you can already pre-order it under MSRP. So
absolutely. So
you can get a discount right now. So if you want to buy individual boxes, it is cheaper than it will be on release day theoretically.
Right, because they are theoretically, LSS has worked with its distributors to set it out in waves this time. And so because of that, they are able to kind of hold some back. And then if the market gets too crazy and prices start getting too high, they will release more into the market, trying to keep it around that $99 MSRP. It'll be very interesting to see how that works. It's not going to work this time.
I don't believe them. Yeah, I just don't believe them. And it's not on them. Well, it is sort of on them because of how many issues we've had so far.
Right.
I don't want to talk poorly of them. They've made mistakes and just saying we're going to do this new thing that hasn't been tested. And if it's really based on the distributors, does that mean Channel Fireball gets them and gets to decide when the prices go up and down?
Yep.
Like, I don't think that's not going to work if that's how they're doing it. I don't think that's how they're doing it, but I honestly don't know. Because Channel Fireball is not what would normally be considered a distributor, but they are a primary online distribution source for Fab. So I don't know how they're doing it. Until I know details, I don't trust that. It's good that they're trying something though,
right. But so the other part about that's kind of concerning, and it goes back to my discussion I had with the game store owner that I was talking to today, in that and I was joking around, or I was just asking, it's like, and you guys don't sell Flesh and Blood singles yet, do you? And he was like, oh no, we just sell Pokemon and Magic singles. We'd love to sell Flesh and Blood singles, but we just can't compete with online. And
well, that's true.
Yeah. And he was like, even with the boxes and stuff, we can't compete like with what we pay from the distributors to what the prices are online. It just doesn't make sense to ship it, because they had an online store and they actually took it down. And that just might be this store and COVID times and economy times, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Or putting their
I'm glad
focus, they're putting more money in Magic and Pokemon probably, because those are their
Well, yeah, if they have
large
a localized
bases.
staple, yeah.
They do. Like half the store is Pokemon stuff.
Yeah, totally. That's just easier. You're serving your customer base. That's
right.
Good business, period.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see. I will remain skeptical but hopeful. I hope they get it right. I hope it works. I hope they do what they are saying and it actually plays that way. But I just don't like, at arm's length, them trying to manage U.S. distributors. We know U.S. distributors are vicious, competitive, monopolistic, and money grubbing. Not to say bad things about them, but that's American capitalism. We are hardcore about it here.
We have laws about that encourage
it. They don't think of markets that way, clearly. No. And so I have a hard time believing they're going to be able to manage that well, because the distributors will say whatever they want to close the deal and get the boxes handed to them. And then they'll do whatever they want to maximize their profit.
Absolutely.
So that's just business in America. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I hope they do have something worked out, and I hope it does work. And maybe it works in like Europe and elsewhere, but then doesn't work here, and then we're still screwed. So we'll see. That also scares me for collectability, because if they do actually make it work, because if you think about it, if it does work, that means the boxes are going to be like
more valuable, so the singles will go up.
We're not going to have the dump period.
No.
When do I buy, Tommy?
All of your data is ruined.
It's so hard. I'm going to have to look extra hard at this set.
Yeah, it's going to be an anomaly. But it's also the beginning of what they're trying to. Yeah.
So we really, really won't know. And even if it does one thing, that's a one data point, situation.
So what do? You dollar cost average into Uprising. You buy a little bit
into the cold foils.
You dollar cost average into the cold foil. You buy your favorite first, so then you have it, and then you get.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting time. I'll probably have a lot to say in the market updates over the course of this release.
There'll be interesting market updates for sure, because it's a new territory.
It is. It's what I can say, just with confidence and certainty, that it is dirt cheap to buy Uprising right now on a per box basis. Yeah. It's down at $94 and $3.99 respectively for cases or boxes and cases, and it's dropping every week. So I was actually talking about in the market update, I might just buy some arbitrary like $82 is actually the current pre-sale on TCG Player. Might just buy that. Oh, that's with $12 shipping, so it's like $95. But just buy like random boxes that are really, really cheap from, I guess, stores that get it allocated, and half of them will probably get canceled, right? Because the allocations never quite match what people think they're getting and stuff.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And then allocations might be off because distributors weren't keyed into how small the actual waves are.
Yeah. Anyways,
or stores are taking pre-orders not knowing that.
Of course, yeah, and that's how it was historically encouraged. So they used the numbers to get their allocations, and now it's probably all different. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. This will be an interesting change. Hopefully, it all works out. I have heard nothing but good things from the people that have talked to Channel Fireball and James White. They all seem to feel confident that what they're trying to do is the right move. Mm-hmm. Now, whether they succeed at it, that will be the question. But people seem like they trust it a lot better than they did, 2 months ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Classic Battles is out.
Yay.
Go watch someone else's content on that, because we don't have one to look at, unfortunately.
We will eventually.
Tommy tried.
Way too late. I tried. I failed.
It's okay.
I was gonna have my camera on this podcast, and I was gonna open it. Cool.
I've seen some of the cards. It does look like there's some really good cards. There's definitely some cards that will be used in decks outside. Like, how I have the one Reinhardt deck. I'm like, dang it.
Yeah.
Now I got to buy some of those singles.
Right.
To add to my Reinhardt deck.
And I have a buddy coming over Monday, and I'm going to teach him Flesh and Blood, and this is going to be perfect.
Except not.
Except not, because I don't have it. So,
Yeah, sad.
I'll figure it out.
And then we got 2 weeks till Uprising pre-release. We already said that, and a week until the preview season. So here's one topic I just want to talk about, because I talked about a little bit of fatigue, right? The calendar. So we just discussed it, right? We have 1 week until the preview season, 2 weeks until Uprising pre-release. I think it's like 3 or 4 weeks until Uprising release, and then that's also the end of ProQuest season. That gives you about a month until, or is it 2 months? No, it's about a month, because I think it's, well, we don't know exactly. Sometime in August, we're having Pro Tour, so you got that month lull, midsummer lull, and then August Pro Tour, and then we'll be off to Road to Nationals right after that, I imagine, if not at the same time.
Right.
And that's going to be, pretty much every month we'll have 1 or 2 Road to Nationals to look at. So the calendar's shaping up to be quite active year round, with like the exception of a 1 month break in the middle of summer.
That's how it has to be.
Like, that's nutty. I can't keep up with that.
Good.
I mean, I can keep up with it from a watching standpoint, but I can't play like I was playing before, where I was like trying to keep up with each of the events and go to everything and do everything I could. Like, whew, that's a lot. That's a lot.
I want to.
Good luck. You're going to France?
No. You said everyone you can.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I can't go to France.
I can't go to France. But I mean, that's a lot. And then the Road to National events. Oh, and don't forget, we'll have another skirmish season in there somewhere too, right?
Yep. Kasai will strike again.
Yeah.
Unless I'm off to something else.
We've had 2 this year already, so we should have like a third, probably around fall, probably around the Road to Nationals. They'll have it. So that's just a lot to keep on. I can't do it, man. I can't keep on top of all this stuff. I was thinking about the calendar, and I was just like, man, this is. But I will say, one, it's awesome that there's always something going on. So
yeah,
that, like,
there's always something to look forward to.
Whenever I'm like, okay, I'm ready. Let me get back in. What's happening? What's the meta? What can I craft?
Right, but you remember, like a couple days ago, or a couple months ago, when we were first started on this Flesh and Blood journey, there were like weeks where we were just like, I don't know what to look forward to. I don't know.
Yes. Agreed.
That's gone.
I prefer busy.
That is gone.
Dull. Yes, yeah. Absolutely.
Like
oh my god! I just realized that we have that other set coming out this year.
Yes. Too. Yeah, we have another supplemental set.
Oh my god!
And that'll probably be out right before the next skirmish season, because that's how the other one worked with Everfest.
Yeah. The lead in, because it'll be Blitzy friendly.
Yeah. We'll get some new Blitz heroes. It'll be fun.
I really enjoy Blitz. It's funny because I got away from it, but now I'm like back and kind of really like how quick it is.
Yeah, it's fun because it's quick. It's more of a social experience. Like, it's not.
Yeah, I like the hyper aggressiveness of it. Honestly, I like the fact that games can end in 3 turns. I like trying to.
They can end in 1 turn, 2 turns. Yeah, there are multiple decks that can do that. Briar can do that.
I know they're trying to slow the game down, but I just love the fact that there's.
Reinhardt can do that. Kano can do that. There's lots of decks that can one shot now.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I gotta get back to my CC game. It's been a long time since I played CC.
I sleeved up my CC deck, and I got cards in the mail, and I really hope they get here before ProQuest.
If you need something, I can give it to you.
I'm not worried. Yeah.
I have whatever it is
you do have all of the cards that are in the mail, but I would just like them to arrive.
Yeah, of course. I'll probably do this Hayden Dash deck. Cool. Just because I almost did Dash before, and so
you were messing around with it.
I like Dash. I enjoy Dash as a way to play. I just found that it was not the one I was playing was not competitive in a lot of the matchups. So I just was like, okay, I'll play something else for ProQuest, and then I went with a Briar I didn't practice with, and that did not go well. Probably would have done better with the Dash. It's okay though. So I'm looking forward to playing Dash. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else we got to cover? It is over an hour now.
Yeah, no, we're good. Videos we put out this week. We had a busy week, so we didn't do much. We had our top 5. Go comment your top pick for the week to enter you for your chance to win our 200 sub giveaway. 9.8 graded comic that I give a speech about all the time. Go do it. And we had a market update. And this upcoming week, you can probably expect the same, but possibly John and I showing off our new decks on Tabletop Simulator for ProQuest Season 2, And I may open a box of Monarch first because I'm itching to open some Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, I will tell you I'm itching as well. I keep looking at my shelf and saying, no, don't do it. You don't need any of those cards. Don't do it. You don't need any of those cards.
Well, that's why you stop at the store at the way home and you pick up a box
what?
so that, you don't have to pull one off the shelf.
But then what the heck do I do with them? That's the problem. It doesn't matter where I get it from. What do I do with them afterwards?
You
I
sort them and then you...
everything.
Well, then don't do it.
That's right. I don't need to do it. It's the real answer. Okay.
Or do it as our 180 sub giveaway.
180. Just arbitrary numbers now.
Because we're like 5 away from that.
You're like, I need to give some product away so I can open something. All right.
Congratulations to our winner of 180 sub giveaway. Hello.
You commented unexpectedly. Here you go.
Yeah, we're 6 away.
But all right. Anything else?
No, I think that does it for me.
All righty.
I'm going to go get ready for tomorrow.
It is Friday night, so if anything happens over the weekend that we did not discuss, we apologize, but we're going camping, and we will not be around to do our normal time frame update. So this is a little bit earlier than usual. I'm not sure. You're probably posting it on Sunday then?
Yeah.
You'll get it Sunday?
Yeah. And it's Memorial Day weekend, so no one's going to watch.
Yeah, hopefully there's no major news.
No. But
Alrighty.
Until next week, we'll catch you guys later.
Have a good one.